Noble Center on the campus of the University of Oklahoma, where one team is going on to the Sweet 16. Michigan State looking for their 12th 16, and it will be Oklahoma trying to go back-to-back to the Sweet 16. Sam Gore along with Naismith Hall of Famer Tamika Catchings. We are underway here in Norman. Oklahoma come in off of a dominant win over Idaho on Friday. They turned it over on their first possession, and Michigan State survived a tough test against Colorado State on Friday. Again, the winner of this will move on in Regional 4 Sacramento to face the winner of the South Carolina USC game tomorrow. Both of these teams, Tamika, like to run. I don't think we'll see a lot of half-court sets in this game.
I definitely agree with you, Sam. Both teams averaging 80-plus points per game. They want to run the floor and get as many shots. We already know Oklahoma likes to shoot within the first 5 to 6 seconds of the shot clock.
Lob down to Beers, and Beers is fouled on her opening shot. So Reagan Beers, they go right into her. They did a lot of that against Idaho, obviously. They pounded it in the paint. They shot 76% in the paint on Friday and outscored Idaho 38-14. Reagan Beers had a double-double.
And it's going to be really important. You know, Beers is going to be the focal point for this Oklahoma team, and they are going to start off inside, outside.
Beers a double-double in all 4 of her Oklahoma NCAA tournament games. Michigan State going with a different starting 5 than they started on Friday. This is their jumbo lineup. They start Iceland Alexander, number 12 in green, to give them a little more size against Oklahoma. Those are our starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One.
Van Sluten, great patience in getting the ball to the basket. We already talked about Beers, and we know on the flip side for the Spartan, Van Sluten, number 14, is going to be the player to watch. We say it's the battle of the post.
And Blair knocks down the jumper. And we'll take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One for Oklahoma. Same starting 5 all season for Oklahoma, one of only 10 teams this year to be able to say that. They're the second highest scoring starting 5 in the country as well. Chavez into Williams. Williams gets the layup.
We'll see a lot of that tonight. Both teams like to run. When you look at Oklahoma, they are always looking up the floor. Chavez is one of the star guards that can see the floor so well and get her teammates involved.
Van Sluten from the free throw line misses. Offensive rebound by Sotelo. Here's Brown. And Brown throws it up off the glass. Sotelo did a good job to get that. Turnover on the Spartans. Oklahoma leads the nation in shots taken with 20 to 30 seconds on the shot clock. And that will go back to Michigan State.
Well, you know, they're not going to look for that double team down low, but I think if Van Sluten gets on Beers, you got to bring over the help to make sure for Michigan State, they don't want to see Van Sluten get in foul trouble.
Alexander just left the floor. She is replaced by Jones. Oklahoma loves to run. Fastest paced team in the country, more possessions than any other team per game. Sotelo into the paint. A nice job by Van Sluten.
I see bodies flying everywhere, and Michigan State's done a really good job. Great drive by Jones with a good finish.
Jones started on Friday, came off the bench, already hit a bucket here. And a steal by Blair. Already 4 turnovers on the Sooners. Brown, nice move. Brown open for 3. Good. She opened the game Friday with a 3.
I love the attack by Michigan State. Drive and kick, good pass down low. Beers always ready to receive and finish.
Reagan Beers already with 4 of Oklahoma's 6 points.
Well, Beers does a good job of just moving the defense up when she's posting up, not just settling for a shot.
Blair travels. And both teams will send in subs. Oklahoma led by Jenny Baranchek, who has taken Oklahoma to the NCAA tournament every year she has been at the helm. This is her 5th season. Last year took this team to the Sweet 16, and they are trying to get back there tonight for a 2nd straight year. And coming into the game and making the jumper right away is Brooklyn Stewart, one of the freshmen for Oklahoma.
I love the confidence that she has. And, you know, we talk about the energy. Sahara Williams is on the bench right now. She starts the team and starts the game with the energy. But when those freshmen come in, they match the energy that she brings.
A nice pass, Van Slooten underneath the defense to Jones. Van Slooten and Reagan Beers, 2 of the premier post players in the country. They've known each other since they were in high school. And look at Stewart off the bench, 4 quick points. Oklahoma within 1 now. 2nd straight season Oklahoma has hosted Michigan State, 5 seed out of the Big Ten.
I think Michigan State is at their best when they pass the ball and find those open players.
Van Slooten talking to our head official, Chuck Gonzalez, and there's a look at Robin Freilich, head coach at Michigan State. She's already making history. She is the first women's basketball coach at Michigan State to lead the Spartans to the NCAA tournament in their first 3 seasons. They went from a 9 seed in year 1 to a 7 seed last year, and this year a 5 seed.
I think it really helps when you have players that buy into the system, and Chavez coming full speed. Van Slooten, great job getting the ball in the air. She timed it, and a great block.
Van Slooten gets the block. It'll be Oklahoma ball out of bounds. Just over 5 minutes here in the first quarter. You'll see a lot of shots in this game. Stewart misses the layup and then commits the foul.
And that was a frustration foul right there. She's mad at herself for missing. And she's going to get subbed out. But you'll see a lot of this, a lot of substitutions as we go throughout the game.
Hey, good job by Brooklyn Stewart. I mean, she came in and gave them 4 quick points. They needed a lift, and she gave it to them. So Reagan Beers back in the game. 3rd-team All-American. Blair. Van Slooten has Verhulst on her. Nice strip. That was stripped by Smith. She keeps the ball, misses the shot, and it will be Oklahoma's ball. And Coach Robin Freilich is asking if she thought it actually was off on that team, but don't think we're going to have a challenge. The NCAA Women's for the Slam Dunk matchups brought to you by Wendy's. Before the game, Grace Van Slooten and Reagan Beers getting a hug and a visit. They have known each other since they were in high school when they were both McDonald's All-Americans. They played against each other when Reagan was at Oregon State and Van Slooten was at Oregon. And this summer they were teammates on Team USA's FIBA Women's AmeriCup team and have maintained a very close friendship. It has been fun to see them reconnect this weekend. And also our 2 head coaches have quite a long history as friends as well. Their careers have really mirrored each other a lot. Here's Beers scoring on Van Slooten.
I love that matchup. And, you know, we've talked about the battle of the post, but to be honest, they are 2 totally different post players. One, I would say Van Slooten, probably a little bit more finesse. And then you look at Beers, she's going to bang down low. So it's going to be a good matchup between the 2, but I think other players are going to be the one guarding those 2.
Shoemate made the 3 on the other end for the Spartans. Verhulst, a deep 3, good.
I love watching Peyton Verhulst play. We've seen her play so many different positions. She actually started the game guarding Van Slooten on the Michigan State team. She's a versatile player that can play a lot of different positions. Number 12 on Oklahoma.
Van Slooten drives, no foul called. Good D by Beers. Verhulst with the ball, one of the most complete guards in the country. Verhulst gets open. Beers with the offensive rebound and clears it back out to Van. Well, Chavez was calling for the ball wide open in the corner. They didn't see her. See Chavez shoot a lot of threes in transition. Oklahoma hasn't been able to get into their transition game as much as they'd like so far. And that time Beers tried to power it up. Van Sluten just too good defensively.
And Van Sluten kept her ground, and what a nice move Blair tried to make. Thought she got fouled.
There are some gasps in the crowd. Verhulst. And the rebound by the Spartans. Jones. Stop and pop. Yes, Rashonda Jones.
She got 6 points right now, came in off the bench and has been on fire. She's normally a starter for this Michigan State team. They went with a different lineup, but I feel like sometimes when you get a chance to kind of see what's going on, it gives you a chance to come in and make a difference.
Well, Jones was 0 for 5 on Friday and has responded exactly the way you'd want her if you're a Michigan State coach. She's 3 for 3 to start this game. Jump ball possession will stay on this end.
Coach thought that would have been a travel call, but good heads-up play by Oklahoma. They got their hands on the ball, so jump ball.
Sahara Williams back in the game. She just has an infectious amount of energy when she's on the floor. Typically, good things happen for Oklahoma.
That's interesting. Coming into this game, I kind of was like, whoever hits first will be interesting. And I think both teams just going, they play a lot alike in a way. And then, of course, just the emphasis on the post down low.
Blair to Jones. She's open for 3. She is perfect. 4 for 4. And that is her first three-pointer of the game. Michigan State much more comfortable against Oklahoma than they were against Colorado State, who did a good job of slowing them down. You see all the possessions in this game already.
This is the kind of tempo that they wanted to play. I think for Michigan State, going up against Colorado State, it forced them to have to figure out a different lineup. And be honest, like as it got down late into the clock, I think that even for themselves, they had to look at like, you got to dig deep to get this W.
Verhulst lost it out of bounds. It went off her leg. So it'll be a Michigan State's ball unless Oklahoma appeals this. And Verhulst was actually protesting that she got scratched while she was driving to the basket.
You see it, that left arm.
On her arm. Up on her left shoulder.
You know, the arm is sometimes part of the ball. You know that, right?
Blair trying to get a by Verhulst. Dumps it inside. Alexander misses the layup. And then a foul on the rebound on Alexander.
Take another look at this. So Verhulst thought that she got fouled. Yeah, it might have been a swipe right there by Jones, number 1. But you keep playing through it.
Michigan State only led 18 minutes and 31 seconds on Friday against Colorado State, but they won the game. They have been in the lead for over 5 minutes of our first quarter here against Oklahoma.
You can sense a different type of an energy for them. And
good rebound by Williams, and she draws the foul. Sahara Williams, non-stop energy.
Well, Williams is that player you love to watch because she is going to be active everywhere she is. And you watch her right there. Yeah, she got pushed a little bit and still able to get through the push to go and retrieve the basketball.
First foul on Jones. Williams goes to the free throw line. She had a double-double against Idaho Friday. 17 points, 10 rebounds. We didn't get to come on the air with our normal open, but we had a nice shot of her dancing in the pregame huddle tonight. She is loose, keeps the team loose.
She is energy, fire. She is the heart and soul of this team, and every single press conference we've listened to, it has started with her leading that, and that's her task. She has to come in ready and get everybody else ready.
Those are the first points for Oklahoma in over 3 minutes. And a travel as Brown was trying to work her way through the lane.
And Brown got hit a little bit and tried to push through it. and pushing through it, she just took a couple more steps right there. See.
Sahara Williams made the call. Great officiating crew tonight. Chuck Gonzalez, Katie Lukanich, Keisha Thompson, and an offensive foul on Sahara Williams. She and Brown going at it.
And Brown just holding her ground, you see right there. And Williams just goes under. Just a little bit too much. Sometimes you just got to release and just walk around.
Love the intensity, though. Jones out front, guarded by Lofton. Final seconds of the opening quarter. Michigan State has led most of the way. Jones perfectly executed. Van Sluten gets the layup. Chavez's three won't go down, and Michigan State, with a very disciplined start, is up 5 on the number 4 seed Oklahoma Sooners.
Well, you gotta love what you see, and right now we have a battle between 4 or 5. Michigan State up 21-16. And Rashonda Jones has come out and has been a spark plug off the bench coming in. Right now, she is perfect from the field. 9 points, 4 for 4 field goals. But what I love is she's finding her spot, and she's popping, getting to the open spaces, and not forcing anything to try to get the shot. So right now, just doing a really good job for this team.
Well, they have had a much better start tonight than they did in their first-round meeting with Colorado State. But to Colorado State's credit, the way they play makes a team like Michigan State have to work so hard for their shots.
Well, especially when you look at the Spartans, they want to run and get up and down the floor, and that was one of the emphasis for Colorado State, like control the tempo of the game. They did a great job. Almost came out with the win, but the Spartans fought through that, and now they get to play against an Oklahoma team that likes to play much like them.
Yeah, they were excited to play Oklahoma. There's Chavez getting to see the ball go through the net for the first time. ESPN's National Freshman of the Year.
And we talked about that in the break just a second ago. She hadn't had a real clear look, so that was a great look, wide open, because Beers took 2 defenders with her.
And Sluten going to her left, misses the shot. Chavez out in the open floor. This is what she does more than anyone in the country. Shoot transition threes.
Well, she is absolutely electric, and you see the fans went crazy, because that is what she does. You give her just a little bit of space, she's going to find a way to make it.
What a response on the other end by Kennedy Blair, a former walk-on and now an all-conference player in the Big Ten. And a foul on the rebound.
Chavez is just so good in the open space, and you can't give her that much space because she will pull and pop and make it. That is what the energy Oklahoma relies on sometimes, because she can come in and totally change the trajectory of a game.
Foul was on Dykstra, her first. Oklahoma inbounds. Good position by Brown to get the rebound for Michigan State. Blair, Coach Freilich wants the ball in her hands at crunch time. Jones goes to her right. First shot she's missed.
Verhulst definitely altered that shot just by going out at her. Could see Jones tried to switch it up.
Beers off the mark on the three. She has made 6 3-pointers this season. Blair through the lane, yes! Kennedy Blair, another one of those players that never stops moving. 35 in green. Van Sluten playing off of Beers, just giving her the shot, she didn't take it. And a rare half-court possession for Oklahoma.
Well, I like, though, that they're settling down and trying to find the open look. And you never know when those shots are going to go up. Thought they were going to wait a little bit longer and try to get Beers down low.
Michigan State up by 4. Winner goes to the Sweet 16. And Sotelo's pass ends up in the middle of the Sooner bench. And another turnover. That's turnover number 7 on Michigan State.
I will say that the good thing about that type of turnover, if you're going to have one, is it's not a live ball turnover.
Yeah.
So it allows Michigan State to set their defense.
And it allows Oklahoma to run that play. Wow.
You just need to put a circle around Beers and just watch her work from the time the ball gets entered into the court, front court, all the way down. Just how well she is.
Beers already with 8 points, 3 rebounds. Zaya Van, her shot is good. First shot of the game for Zaya Van. Having a breakout season in her second season from Edmond, Oklahoma, a crowd favorite.
Well, it's a tie game right now, so you can feel the energy.
Beers swats it out of bounds. It'll be Michigan State ball.
I can't say enough about just how Beers timed that Van Sluten trying to go up, but she didn't go up strong enough. I think in this sense, when you got a player like Beers, you almost got to get in her body and force her to foul so you either get a shot up or you get yourself to the free throw line.
Blair, she'll take the shot. Too strong. Van comes out of it. Oklahoma has numbers. Van will take the jumper. Just made one. And a foul inside against the Spartans, maybe on Van Sluten. First personal on Grace Van Sluten. Van Sluten, well, what a versatile post player she is. Do everything for them. Handle the ball, shoot threes, post up. Offensive foul on Sahara Williams. Second foul on Williams.
Sometimes I think with Sahara Williams, you see her momentum going. You see that right shoulder just enough to get you off balance.
Shoemate taking the charge. Shoemate's dad, assistant coach at Miami of Ohio. He was in March Madness. They lost to West Virginia yesterday. Oh. Miscommunication there between Van Sluten and Jones, and another Sparty turnover.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic too. I kind of sensed that through both of the games. Then yet another turnover. Blair, the recipient of that. Both teams kind of playing a little bit sloppy, but I think it's more of just the defensive effort on both sides.
Well, I am loving the activity. There's the potential for a highlight on every possession in this game. Verhulst leans in. And Van Sluten will give the Spartans the ball. Blair up the floor to Jones. Jones spots up for 3. Too strong. Chavez pulls up. Gets her miss and draws the foul.
That's going to be on Alexander, her second foul. Chavez I guess she felt that she missed it and knew. Jones doesn't box out, she goes right around. If you're going to talk about following your shot, that is a prime example of being able, first you gotta take the shot, but then when you know it's off, at least you go in pursuit of the basketball.
Yeah, great recognition of that. Chavez, coming into Friday's game, had made 62 straight free throws. She actually missed a couple in that game, so starting a new streak. She's the only freshman to lead a top 16 seed in this year's tournament in scoring. Oklahoma back on top, not for long. Shoemate knocks down a 3.
Unbelievable. Shoemate got to her spot, and Oklahoma kind of taking their time. Look at Beers down low. She forces 2 people to guard her, which allows Stewart a wide open shot at the free throw line.
Every time Brooklyn Stewart has come in off the bench here in this first half, she has impacted the game. Stewart already with 6 points. She averages 7 a game. Jones on the way to the bucket is fouled by Chavez. So Rashonda Jones will go to the free throw line.
And that's going to be Chavez's first foul.
Yeah, she will head to the bench. Lofton will come in to replace her. Jones going to go to the free throw line now. Jones, just a junior, but has already decided with her NIL money, Tamika, when she graduates, she's going to be starting an outreach center in South Bend, Indiana for kids. And it'll feature on life skills, after school, cooking classes, how to do taxes, basketball practices, sort of a learning center for kids.
I love it, and I love just the fact that you're already thinking about what you're going to do post-basketball, because so many young people don't. And Beers, I think she realized that she was wide open at the free throw line and finally was like, I don't have anybody to pass it to, so I might as well take the shot.
Showing some range. Oklahoma up 2. They trailed at the end of the quarter. Van Sluten, some indecision. Finally goes to Jones. 3 is open for Dykstra. Jones saves it back in bounds. And Beers didn't even have to jump.
Dykstra shot the ball right in her hand.
Nice look inside by Chavez, but Stewart wasn't quite ready. I think everybody thought Chavez was going to shoot that. Oklahoma up 2, the NCAA Women's Championship. She played for them.
Orange. It's all in. We are all in. Yeah, my people. My people.
I mean, come on.
That was for you, girl. Oh, we love you guys.
You guys have been working too many hours today. That was a layup.
I'll take a layup. I'm sure Michigan State would love one, too.
Oh, nice segue, Tamika. There you go. A foul against the Oklahoma Sooners. What a day. How about LSU? They have scored over 100 points in both of their NCAA tournament games. Madison Booker with the 40-point game today, and Minnesota with a last-second shot win over Ole Miss. That was a Big Ten SEC battle, much like this one is. Kennedy Blair is at the free throw line. She got a little shaken up after that last play. A former walk-on broke her foot, though, in her freshman season when she walked on. Ended up getting a scholarship, and now is an all-Big Ten performer, but she's limping right now. Very rarely will she miss 2 free throws.
Yeah, and you can tell right off the bat, you can see her facial expression slow down a little bit, but I don't think anything's going to stop Kennedy Blair from this moment.
Jones and 1, fouled by Culleton.
I love the drives. Michigan State doing a good job of just attacking the basket. Jones has got a little blood on her hand, but you see going right at Colston and able to get that finish.
Jones normally known for her defense. In fact, her nickname on the team is the Glove. On the Big Ten all-defensive team this year. And we actually ran into her in the elevator last night at the hotel. To me, she was showing us her Canadian dill chips. So that must be the secret to her hot start tonight.
You know what? That has to be it.
Yeah.
She had a whole bag, and I was asking, are you seriously can't eat that the night before the game? But well, if that's what it takes, then do what you got to do.
Van is fouled by Jones. I got to correct you a little bit. You told her not to eat them the night before the game because of what it would do to her breath.
Well, I said just make sure that you're not around your teammates. And, you know, that could not be very pleasing. I will own it. I will own that.
Yeah. She's had a great start to this game. 5 of 7 shooting. She's leading Michigan State scoring. Here's Zaya Van at the free throw line. Van had a good game against Idaho. 8 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Of course, the younger sister of Skylar Van, who was former Big 12 Player of the Year here at Oklahoma, and now playing professionally in Italy. And Reagan Beers returns to the lineup.
I like this lineup, too, with Beers in, with Stewart And Beers just attracts so much attention. Stewart able to stretch the floor a little bit and has gotten a couple of wide open looks.
Good backdoor cut by Blair, but she traveled as Van and Beers did a nice job collapsing on her when she got open.
Well, she felt like she got pushed in the back, but needless to say, the call remains.
Neither team has gotten to the bonus until this point in the game. Both teams with 4 team fouls. Blair will go down against Van. Doesn't make the layup, but will shoot the free throws.
And that's one thing you know about Blair. She is going to always try to redeem herself. She got a turnover on one side, came back, had to shake it off, and got a steal on the other side. So when you talk about just taking advantage of possession, sometimes when you make mistakes on one end, you got to brush it off and get ready to go to the other end.
Blair just missed a couple of free throws, makes up for it on this one. Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Blair makes both free throws. We have already had 9 lead changes in this game. Chavez. That, you would think, normally goes in for her. But she is so good at following her missed shots. 50-50 ball caught by Jones. Jones banks it in. There's that all Big Ten defensive team presence.
Jones has been all over the floor, and I would say the whole team has really just done a great collective effort, put in a great collective effort, but Chavez answers back. She missed that last 3, and you could tell she just wanted the ball back to get that shot up.
What a first half in this 4-5 battle for the Sweet 16. And Brown knocks down another 3 from the same corner she made her first one. Chavez, long 2. Lofton will get the offensive rebound. Stewart, another bucket inside.
I love the way that this game is going. I saw somebody in the stand eating some popcorn. I can just imagine just throwing popcorn in your mouth, just watching your head swivel from one end to the other.
Jones had to get rid of it. Brown took 2 big steps through the lane. And how did that go in? Rashonda Jones.
Rashonda Jones is everywhere on the offensive end, everywhere on the defensive end. I saw her tug her jersey, which means I'm tired, coach.
Van Sluten clears the rebound. Up to Brown. And Brown fouled by Chavez. So Jones can finally catch her breath. That's the second foul, though, on Chavez.
See Jones going out. That is what you call putting it all out there on the floor.
Again, Jones was 0 for 5 against Colorado State. She is 7 of 9 in this game tonight and leads the Spartans in scoring. Here's Brown at the free throw line. Brown has made some clutch 3s already here in Norman. She had 3 3-pointers on Friday against Idaho and already a couple today against Oklahoma. Michigan State up 5. Under a minute to play in the half. Stewart. And a foul on the rebound. Alexander and Beers battling in the paint, and it'll be the 3rd foul on Alexander.
Well, Alexander didn't even play the first game. Looking at more of the matchup, when you get to the second game, you got to think Coach Freilich really wanted to have another presence so that Van Sluten didn't have to guard her the whole game.
So Reagan Beers goes back to the free throw line. Beers already in double digits, 10 points, 5 rebounds tonight. She has never failed to get a double-double in an NCAA tournament game for Oklahoma, and neither is Grace Van Sluten for Michigan State. Only active player in the country with over 2,000 career points and 1,200 career rebounds.
Van Sluten thought she was going to get a little bit of a break, but already back in the game.
Michigan State walking it up the floor. Now they get into motion. Van Sluten had a lot of real estate open, and Beers commits the foul. First on Reagan Beers.
Well, I would say this. That is a good foul.
Yeah.
If you're going to foul, this is how you foul. Not to say in a bad way. I think it's definitely within the flow, but that is a foul. Anytime you swing down and your hand comes down, you hear the fans a little upset about that, but you want to get the ball in the air up at the top, not at the bottom.
Grace Van Sluten, a 3-time gold medalist for Team USA. Also a McDonald's All-American, misses the second free throw. About a 9-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Final 30 seconds of the first half in this 4-5 battle. Oklahoma, a 4 seed out of the SEC, and Michigan State, a 5 seed out of the Big Ten. Two conferences that had the most teams in the tournament this year. 3 is on the way. That is off the mark by Smith. And Beers could not get it back up. And a shot clock violation was called. And our official Chuck Gonzalez talking to Keisha Thompson about this call, just making sure that it was the right call. They're going to review it. Because obviously the ball hit the rim.
The following play is under review of whether the ball hit the shot clock. This will trigger the immediate timeout.
So while they take a look at this, we'll step aside. We only got 7 seconds left in the half. So the officials decided to review that last shot because in real time, especially from our standpoint, looks like the ball hits the rim, but when you slow it down, it actually hit the net, went off the backboard in the net, and Chuck Gonzalez, our lead official, was right under the goal and immediately decided that this was worth taking another look at.
Now you see right there, it kind of looked like it, but it has to touch the rim for the shot clock to reset.
We've got a fantastic crew tonight. If you are officiating the NCAA tournament, you are among the best in the country, and here's Chuck Gonzalez. So they're coming to tell. So you could probably hear Nikisha Thompson's voice. Let's listen to Chuck Thompson.
Following review, there's no conclusive evidence that the ball hit the rim. Shot clock violation has occurred, and there is 9.5. Put it back on the clock.
So it is a shot clock violation. It will be Michigan State's ball. He looked pretty serious, but officials are humans, and this is the end of the season for them, and we're all pretty tired right now. This is the shirt that Chuck has on underneath his official's jersey tonight. Everything hurts.
Well, that's not the one he has on underneath the shirt, but that's the one that he walked in with, and he talked about yesterday, and just he asked how our day was, we asked how his day or how their day was, and just being able to relax. So yeah, we needed a little bit of a moment to just relax and let the legs reset. So it's a lot of running.
Yeah, especially when you're officiating this game. And then the Idaho-Oklahoma game on Friday. The good officiating crew, they got the call right. Michigan State will have it on the final possession of the half. Van Sluten, clock running out. Van Sluten misses the layup. But Michigan State with the lead in Oklahoma. 9 lead changes already, and that is the most of any first half in March Madness so far. So take a break and come back, because we are in for an outstanding second half. We're also in for an outstanding studio segment. We will be sending you to the studio. Christine, Andrea, and Shanae. Ladies, you've been working hard today. Can't wait to hear what you have to say right now.
That's the most that she's had in her career at halftime.
And Jones will start the second half, the third quarter on the bench. Iceland Alexander will be starting, number 12 in green. And those are some of the numbers from that first half. 9 lead changes, which, as we said going into break before the half, it's the most of any game in the tournament so far. Blair, her first shot of the half is no good. And Oklahoma will have a chance to score right away here to begin the third quarter.
Well, Reagan Beard running the court and bringing the ball up.
Knocked away by Alexander as they try to get it into Beers. Reagan Beers had 11 points, 5 rebounds over the course of the first and second quarters.
Well, Alexander came in and really was the reason that Jones is not starting to give a bigger presence against Beers. And she had 3 fouls in the first half.
Winner of this will move on to the Sweet 16 in Sacramento to take on the winner of South Carolina and USC. Those two will be playing tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. I already know who the winner of this game is going to play. USC.
One of them, right? That'll be a foul on Brown. That's going to be her first foul.
Van, nice.
Great heads-up play by Van. Chavez not wanting to turn the ball over, but Van super active on that out of bounds.
Oklahoma back within 3. Van Sluten kicks it out to Blair. Brown driving, offensive foul as she tried to get around Chavez. That is her second.
Back-to-back foul by Brown. Chavez does a good job of staying in front, but you see that left arm, yeah, and then she actually swiped Chavez in the mouth. Second time, because in the first half, Chavez got hit in the mouth. We saw on the bench holding a little tissue on her lip, and then this is the second time.
And Katie Lukinich is asking to review the play, one of our 3 esteemed officials. I think she is of the same mind that you were in, Tamika, that perhaps that was a little extra.
The previous foul is under review for a possible upgrade. This will trigger the floating media timeout.
So 9:12 left to play in this third quarter, and they are going to take another look at this foul on Brown. And we will find out if it is upgraded or just a common foul when we come back to Oklahoma.
Review. The foul by number 23 was deemed unnecessary for the swing from the lower body to the facial area. It will be classified as a flagrant 1 foul. Anybody from White will be shooting 2 free throws. White will resume at midcourt.
So upgraded to a flagrant 1, which means Oklahoma will get free throws and the ball after this. So Brown 23 in green against Chavez.
You look at that left arm, and it started off low, and by the time she got to the basket, it raised up, and any time that it's above the neck, you have to take a look at it.
So Chavez will be the player selected to shoot these 2 free throws, and she leads the nation in free throw percentage this year. 92% free throw shooter. Brown picks up another foul. So Brown right now with 2 personal fouls, and Oklahoma will get the ball. So this could end up costing Michigan State the lead.
I listened to one of the press conferences earlier that Coach Jenny talked about just the importance of having home court advantage, and you look around and having all your Oklahoma fans, that just gives you the extra, it gives you an extra edge regardless. And, I think the energy that flows, you can feel it for this team.
Well, the students are on spring break at Oklahoma, and they played a 9 p.m. Central Time game on Friday. And Coach Baranchek, former Sooner star Trey Young, got in on the action trying to get fans to the games. They bought fans coffee, bought free tickets for people, and they did a fantastic job to get the local crowd out here late Friday night. And they have all come out tonight to see their team hopefully reach the Sweet 16.
Exactly, and this place was rocking. It was fun to watch, and just the energy.
Yeah, Friday night felt more like a party. Tonight, it feels more tense. Michigan State still in front by a point. Blair probing, picks up her dribble to Alexander, triple team. And a jump ball called as the Sooners swarm.
Alexander has to know that as soon as she catches the ball, you don't have time to make 1 or 2 or 3 moves. You got to make a move, quick move. If you can't get it, you got to pass it out. And a great job by Oklahoma. I mean, you just see 3 players come down. So Beers is already there. Van comes. Williams is right there. Got to find the open player.
Oklahoma known for its offense, but ESPN Analytics actually ranks them as the 9th best defensive team in the country. And Reagan Beers with another long-range 2.
Cotello gave Beers a little bit more space than she needed to.
And Oklahoma has retaken the lead. They are only 3-6 this season when trailing at the half. But all 3 of those wins were at home. Beers will shoot again. Reagan Beers firing up her family. That is her dad, Ike. Reagan Beers with 2 long jumpers. And Oklahoma leads by 3. Everyone is here for the Beers. Told you everybody was here for the Beers. And here she is, Reagan Beers.
Well, Reagan Beers has been phenomenal. These last 2 buckets she just hit. Everybody's expecting her to go down low and post up, but when you have a big that can pull out and stretch the floor, you just give a little bit more space and momentum to your team. It opened up the space, opened up the floor, because when she can step out, your guards can also go in, but Beers phenomenal on the last 2 plays.
Michigan State has not scored in this 3rd quarter. Oklahoma's in the midst of an 8-0 run. Blair, that's the player Coach Freilich wants with the ball in the clutch, but she fails to score on this trip.
I think Michigan State's got to figure out a way to get Van Sluten involved and engaged in the offense. Right now, she only had 5 points, and it seems like when she gets the ball, she's really not looking to score.
The battle of the bigs, Grace Van Sluten and Reagan Beers. That time is won by Reagan Beers as Van Sluten gets called for the foul.
That'll be her 2nd foul.
Oklahoma's ball out of bounds. 3rd team foul already on Michigan State here in the 3rd quarter. Women's college basketball, when a team gets to 5 fouls, the other team's in the bonus, will shoot free throws. Beers has it stripped away by the glove. Jones. And Van Sluten cleans up the miss. Van Sluten had not scored until the end of the 1st quarter.
Well, they got to figure out a way to get her going. She's such a key piece to their offense, and while it's great to have other players step up and do great things, Shonda Jones being one of those players, number 1, I think Van Sluten, they got to get her more touches where she can score.
Burholz. Wow, Oklahoma has been so good on inbounds plays.
Running it to perfection.
Nice fake by Jones, got Chavez off her feet, and then Beers rejects the shot. Chavez to Van.
If that shot would have went in, this place would have erupted. Michigan State got lucky on that one.
Jones on the other end misses. It is 10-2 Oklahoma here in the third quarter. Sooners trailed at the half. Winner moves on to the Sweet 16 and will face either Southern California or South Carolina. And a foul called, and the ball will go to Michigan State.
And that foul is going to be on Beard. That's going to be her second foul. Blair did a great job of making the extra rotation coming over to get the ball. And then Beard knew it was her, it was supposed to be for her, intended for her, and ended up getting a little bit of push.
So both Reagan Beers and Grace Van Slooten each have 2 fouls right now. Only player with 3 fouls is Alexander for Michigan State. And there is a foul committed by Brooklyn Stewart. That's her second.
And Michigan State doing a good job trying to get back into the flow. It felt like in the first half, they did a great job of attacking the basket and then finding open players. But of course, Jones had such a spectacular first. She was able to complete a lot of those possessions. They got to find some offense.
Blair had trouble getting it in, and Williams steals it. And then good hustle by Shoemate to break up that pass. It'll still be Oklahoma's ball, and this is where they've been so good tonight, effectively running inbounds passes.
Yeah, look at that defense right there. Williams stepped right in front of Van Slooten. And a lucky play by Michigan, from Michigan. Oklahoma is so good in the open floor.
They've been good on those inbounds plays as well. They don't score right out of that one. They took a little more time. Jones lets it go, and that was a wise decision because the officials say it is Michigan State's ball. Blair quickly up the floor for the Spartans. Jones, nice first step. Shoot, Sotelo, and gets the roll.
Well, that is definitely the emphasis. Drive, kick, drive, kick.
Van will drive, lost it, picked up by Sahara Williams. Good heads-up play by Williams.
Well, that'll give Sahara Williams 5 points. So low scoring, but always effective.
Kennedy Blair, she is so fun to watch. Such a gritty player for Michigan State. Only played 5 minutes last season, and this year an all Big Ten performer. Nice play. Peyton Verhulst with the finish. Both teams trading baskets. Van Slooten stuck on the block. 3 seconds.
Great defensive possession on one end by Brooklyn Stewart. Then she comes back, offensive possession rather. Then comes down and does the defensive end. So we'll take another look at it. Look at that screen that was set by Van. And just a quick second, but Stewart let the ball go out of her hand before Verhulst was even there. So it's almost one of those things you practice so much that you know when your teammate's going to be in that spot.
Well, it got Jenny Baranchek up off her feet, Oklahoma's head coach. She was thrilled with the execution of that play. Oklahoma, a very strong third quarter. And we will have an offensive foul called on Reagan Beers.
Coach Jenny Baranchek going crazy on the side, not happy at all.
Neither is Dad. Third foul on Beers. She will stay in the game. And no, she won't. Gonna bring her out now.
Dad is going crazy over there, and rightfully so.
Here's the play.
Take another look at it. Oh yeah, that right arm releases. But everybody felt like she had been held before that.
Van Sluten guarded by Verhulst, and Peyton Verhulst did an outstanding job defensively there. So Beers on the bench with 3 fouls, and now another foul called inside. From the reaction of the players, it's going to be on Shoemate. That is her second foul.
Well, the battle down low, and it's great because Verhulst kind of replaces Beers down low and just being able to post up. She has Shoemate on the outside, and Shoemate was trying to get into the front and pulled her.
More bodies to the floor, another foul. And this one's on Peyton Verhulst.
Back and forth we go.
So both teams will be in the bonus for the remainder of this third quarter. This Verhulst 12 in white.
Extended arm, that left arm by Verhulst, just enough to get Jones off her feet.
Officials all over it. Brown gives it up to Blair. Blair goes through 2 defenders to Van Sluten. And Van Sluten with the short bucket.
Much needed bucket too.
Michigan State within 1. Oh, good D by Blair. Verhulst resets the Oklahoma offense. Very rarely do they get a possession where the shot clock goes under 10. And a turnover. Blair and Michigan State on the run. And a foul on Verhulst, her second, denying the layup by Blair.
Bodies are flying everywhere, and you can tell, you can feel what this means for both teams, knowing what's at stake and what's on the line. And you take a look right here, and a steal. Blair just sees it. And the timing of being able to go up looked like she was going to pass, but Verhulst don't really feel like had an option but to foul.
Blair makes the free throw, her third made free throw of the night. Blair had 18 points against Colorado State Friday. They scored 12 of those 18 in the second half, and is having a good start to this half.
And that gives her number 12 right there.
Michigan State up by a point and can build on the lead. And a turnover. The outlet pass from Van Sluten was just too far out of range for Jones.
Well, Sahara Williams shot the ball really well in Friday night's game against Idaho, and really hasn't had a lot of shot opportunities tonight, the way that the ball has been flowing. So I think that shot that she took within rhythm, that's a good shot, but she hasn't had a good shot yet. Take it down low.
We had 9 lead changes in the first half. We've had 2 here in the second half. Third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes left to play in this quarter. Entry pass to Williams. Offensive foul, though. And that is going to be number 3 on Sahara Williams. And the officials calling it tight inside. And the fans just got to look at it on the Jumbotron. That's why you hear that extra reaction. Michigan State. Sotelo blocked by Stewart.
And what a great defensive play right there. Brooklyn Stewart clutch in the moment of being able to get that shot. Blocked. Great job moving her feet. Goes up, goes straight up, which is important, not swinging her hand down, and able to get that block.
Sotelo saves it back in bounds to Blair. 3 is on the way from Shoemate. There's 8 on the shot clock. Jump ball, and the possession arrow will give it to Michigan State. So, Tamika, right now, if you're on this floor, what would you be telling your teammates?
Well, I think first off for Oklahoma, you got to huddle up and just say, hey, next play, because you're not going to get the call back. You don't get to replace it. And that's exactly what happened. Brooklyn Stewart heads up play.
Yeah, tried to throw it off of her on the inbounds play. Van muscles it up and in. Spartans in transition. This is Blair to Jones. Nice pass to Sotelo. And a foul on the rebound.
Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can look at this, but Oklahoma, you see right there the huddle. You get in close, you talk about it, you say next play, because you have to figure out how to get to that next play. Michigan State, they're doing a great job of just running. They attack. They're making the right plays, and at this point, Sam, it is what it is, and you just continue to keep playing.
Well, third foul on Brooklyn Stewart. She will head to the bench, and Beatrice Culleton will replace her. At the free throw line, Inez Sotelo, the 6'3" sophomore from Spain.
Oklahoma right now, Sahara Williams has 3 fouls. Reagan Beers with 3 fouls, and now Stewart with 3 fouls. So really got to play the game a lot differently.
Sotelo missed both free throws. It is still a 1-point game here at the end of the third quarter. Chavez off the screen. And a foul against Michigan State. Both teams in the bonus. Fouls on Shoemate, and that is her third. Chavez will go to the free throw line. Chavez with 11 points tonight has been 4 for 4 from the free throw line.
Her shot just so beautiful. When you watch her shoot up from the free throw line, shoot from the three-point line, shoot anywhere in the paint, she always has the same flow, the same look, same release.
That is Chavez's 599th point this season. Only one other freshman in Oklahoma history has scored 600 points, and her jersey is hanging in the rafters. Courtney Paris.
And that make has definitely ignited the fans.
And Slutin. Shoemate will fire. Rebound run down by Culleton. Van pushes it up quickly. Turns on the Jets. And Culleton is fouled underneath by Jones.
Well, I don't like that look by Van, taking it in. She got open players on the side, but she got lucky and saved by her teammate Culleton down low. Culleton had a couple of looks in the last game, not able to come out. This is an opportunity for her to get on the scoreboard and help this team.
Culleton, one of the leaders on this team, is a senior, planning on going to med school to become a pediatrician or orthopedic surgeon after she graduates, and makes both free throws. So this is the largest lead of the game for Oklahoma, and it is only 5 with under a minute to play in the quarter.
Those are big-time free throws. To step up, having to step in, basically the third rotation, third sub off.
Good denial defense by Verhulst, and a turnover. Van slowing it down out near half court. Van double team, finds Culleton. Into Smith. Shot clock a factor, could expire, and it does. So Michigan State will get the ball back with 13.7 seconds left in the third quarter.
That was a hard-fought possession. Michigan State able to come out on top of that. Oklahoma trying to continue to find ways to score.
Well, you got to give these fans some credit in Oklahoma's comeback here in the third. They have shown up for the Sooners. Jones takes a trip to the basket and makes the shot. Good finish for the Spartans. This is a very composed Michigan State team, and that ended a 6-0 run to quiet the crowd just a little.
Well, you can tell right now the tension is running high. You see both teams battling. They know what's on the line, and you got 10 minutes to decide.
The NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. This is the first possession of the fourth quarter. Zaya Van muscles it up and in, and Oklahoma scores first in the fourth.
Well, it's all about who hit first, and I feel like Oklahoma just took that first drive. Zaya Van put her head down and figured out a way to get that score.
Blair with a take. Nice take by Kennedy Blair to answer on the other end. Oklahoma 22-0 this season when they lead heading into the fourth quarter. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay on this end.
Blair makes a lot of heads-up plays from Michigan State. It's almost like she had the knack for where the ball is going, where it's going to come. Peyton Verhulst needed to go a little bit further down on that baseline to give Chavez an outlet.
Kennedy Blair is just a poster for hard work, what it can do for you at this level. Oklahoma showing some patience. Again, they've let the shot clock get down to under 10. Very rarely happens for them. Chavez off the mark on the three. Reagan Beers with a rebound. Van will take a three. Verhulst gets another offensive board. She'll take another three. And the threes have not been falling at the same rate they typically do for Oklahoma.
And you know what, though? All it takes is one to fall, and it makes a big difference.
Chavez grabs the rebound. Oklahoma with only 2 threes tonight. Chavez, why not get a layup?
Well, you got to stop the ball, and Chavez says, if you're not going to stop me, I'm going to take it all the way in. That was a great possession, too, because you looked at the last possession, Oklahoma had missed 3 in a row. Take it to the basket.
And Chavez now the second freshman in Oklahoma history to go over 600 points in their freshman season. Van Sluten with the bucket, and the stars are shining right now here in Norman. Winner to the Sweet 16. Our first day of sending teams to the Sweet 16 will complete the field by the end of play tomorrow night. Williams in and out. Van Sluten with a rebound. 3-point game. A 3 would tie. Shoemate. And Beers fouled by Jones, and Jones points to her head and says, my bad, that's her third.
I like the effort. Jones tries to out-jump Beers, but Beers didn't even have to jump on that rebound and trying to get the tie up. Yeah, both teams look tired right now. It's just a lot of energy that has gone into this game.
Van off the glass for the 2. And Kennedy Blair gets her miss. Out to Jones. Van Sluten asking for the ball, gets it. She's got Williams on her. No shot. Shot clock at 5. Sotelo.
Neither team able to connect on those threes. Getting good looks, but not able to finish.
The lob into Beers, and she has collapsed upon. And a turnover. Just could not stay on her feet.
Yeah, when Beers fell down, she put the ball out. Just gave her enough time to get wrapped up for the jump ball.
Jones gets stopped by Van. Still tries to shoot. Van leads the break. Back to Verhulst. And Peyton Verhulst causes an explosion of excitement in the Lloyd Noble Center. Time out Michigan State. Boomer Sooner. The Sooners are rolling right now. Electrifying this crowd, and the stars are out here in Oklahoma as you've got the starting quarterback, John Mateer, there on the left. Clint Venables, the head coach, is here tonight. Told you Trey Young, the former Oklahoma basketball great, bought 150 tickets to Friday's game. The late Toby Keith's daughter sang the national anthem tonight.
I have to say the stars are out, and this has been a game that you wanted to see. Both teams competing so hard. Back and forth.
One team goes to the Sweet 16. Shot clock down to 5. Sotello kicks it out. Shoe makes 3. Good! 2 on the shot clock.
Now that was a much needed make. Whether it was a 2 or a 3 for Michigan State, but obviously a 3 is better.
5-point Oklahoma lead. She made a definite 3-point threat for Michigan State. 90% of her made shots this year have been threes. Chavez has that knocked away. Verhulst's 3 was their first 3 of the second half. Michigan State changing their offense. They did it by pointing to their nose.
Trying to get a good look, and that's a turnover.
Good job by Reagan Beers to flip that pass up the floor to Verhulst while she was on the floor. Five minutes to play. Chavez.
And that's the look that you want, the Oklahoma. Chavez, that's the shot she normally knocks down.
Shoemate will shoot another one. Beers clears the rebound. Reagan Beers with a double-double tonight. And an answer on the other end by Williams.
So Hera Williams has been quiet when you look at the offensive production today, but she has definitely been one of those key players Coach wants her on the floor because of her presence and what she brings.
Sotello trying to get around Reagan Beers, and does. Nice move by the Spaniard.
There's a lot of clock left. And you can look at the expression on both of these teams' faces.
Beers fouled. So she'll go to the line with 3:55 left to play.
And that's going to be on Jones, and that's going to be her 4th foul.
So 4th foul on Rashonda Jones. Beers will go to the line. Beers 3 for 4 tonight, 15 points, 13 rebounds. She has never failed to get a double-double in the NCAA tournament when wearing an Oklahoma uniform. Five straight double-doubles in tournament games. First to do that since Angel Reese.
Well, there's only 2, so you're in great company. Angel Reese, we love watching crash the board, and Reagan Beers, a different type of player, but so efficient and effective.
A nice drive by Jones. Remember, Jones playing with 4 fouls. Coach Fralick leading her out on the floor. 4-point game. Good D by Blair. Lob down to Beers. Beers did a great job getting position. Timeout Oklahoma.
Now you gotta love the battle between the big down low. The help tried to come over, but Reagan Beers just so good, gets the catch and goes straight up.
Well, right now, let's head back to the studio. Christine.
Yeah, if you're looking for that TCU-Washington game, tipping off at 10 p.m., On E! News, Marta Suarez getting ready to take on Washington. That'll get started over on ESPN News in just a little bit.
Thanks for the update, Christine. Yeah, we'll head back to the hotel and watch that one. Chucky Kemp and Brooke Weisbrod will be on the call for that. Here in Norman, Oklahoma, 3 minutes and 16 seconds left to determine who goes to the Sweet 16. The 5-seed Michigan State, 4-seed Oklahoma. Here's the last play where Reagan Beers gets the bucket.
Well, just a great heads-up play, and Beers and Van Sluten have been going back and forth at it. I think the original plan for Michigan State was to not have Van Sluten spend so much energy having to guard Beers, but Iceland Alexander, number 12 for Michigan State, got in early foul trouble. Coaches had to look at Van Sluten, and that's been a battle to watch down low, but Beers definitely getting the better hand of it right now.
Any advice for the Spartans right now?
Keep attacking, staying. They're still in the game. There's plenty of time, 3 minutes and 12 seconds left. But I said this earlier, Van Sluten, they got to find her, and every time I say it, she gets the ball and scores.
A little mid-range jumper there with Beers guarding her. Clutch shot, 4-point game. Oklahoma in front. They made the Sweet 16 last year. Michigan State hasn't been to the Sweet 16 since 2009. Chavez, 3 on the way. Nothing but net.
Nothing but the bottom of the net. And a great back screen. Jones turned ahead for just a second, and that screen hit her, and Chavez got wide open.
Sotelo with a take in the bucket. Nice answer by Inez Sotelo. Quiets the crowd down as we approach the final 2 minutes. Oklahoma's been maintaining this 5-point lead when they get the ball back. Verhulst probing, now will back it out. Shot clock is under 10. Now to 5. Van with the ball. Verhulst grabs it, throws it up. Shot clock violation. And so Michigan State will get the ball back with 1:46 to play, trailing by 5.
Well, you can't have empty possessions like Oklahoma just did. You got to at least get a good shot. And they have these opportunities. Sometimes they're taking one extra dribble. That's unnecessary.
Blair with the ball to Sotelo. Turnover on the Spartans. Coach Baranchek wanting Chavez to have the ball.
Well, the benefit for Oklahoma, they have 2 point guards on the floor. You got Chavez, you got Van, and either one of them can control the game.
Chavez will pull up for 3. And the rebound run down by Blair. Blair with 7 rebounds in this game. Blair attacks the paint, flips it out. 1 minute to play. And a timeout taken by Michigan State. There will be 16 seconds on the shot clock when they come back out on the floor.
Well, interestingly enough, on that last possession, I felt like Michigan State, they're dribbling the ball too much. They have some open looks that they were taking earlier in the game that they're not taking as we've gotten later.
Yeah, they passed up a wide open 3. So Michigan State with 1 timeout remaining. Oklahoma has 3 remaining. 2 fouls to give for the Spartans. 4 fouls to give for Oklahoma. Here's that last possession, Tamika. This is where they pass up the 3.
Yeah, wide open shot right there. Doesn't take it, looks to take a pass, and coach ends up calling a timeout, but it's like they're almost trying to find that rhythm. Oklahoma had done a better job of controlling the paint and forcing those outside looks. Michigan State early on, able to drive in and get some good looks. But I think you got to be ready. When that ball comes out, you might not get a better shot than the one you get when you're wide open.
Grace Van Slooten, the former McDonald's All-American, 3-time gold medalist for Team USA, hoping this is not her final game in a Spartan uniform. Spartans have not been to the Sweet 16 since 2009. Oklahoma was there last year. So it'll be Michigan State's ball. Remember, the shot clock is at 16. They'll inbound it in front of their own bench, 58.2 seconds to play, and Oklahoma up 5.
Well, I don't think Michigan State has to get a three-pointer, but they have to get the best shot, whatever shot that looks like, and they're going to get some opportunity.
Jones attacks the paint, shoots over Beers, misses. Beers gets the rebound. And Verhulst fouled by Blair to stop the clock.
I like that shot attempt by Jones, driving in, not able to connect, but Beers, good job cleaning the boards.
Third foul on Michigan State. And Oklahoma is asking for a timeout. So they'll be down to 2 now.
And I was wondering for a second if Coach Baranchek was going to take a timeout just because you get to advance the ball. You don't necessarily, if you don't have to, you don't necessarily want to get the ball or have to go against that defense full court.
The winner of this game will head to Sacramento in the Regional 4 and take on the winner of the South Carolina-Southern California game tomorrow night. Those two will play in Columbia at 8 Eastern time here on ESPN.
That'll be a good game. Obviously, South Carolina, we've had a lot of looks at them, and watching the Southern Cal game the other day, Jazzy Davidson hit some big-time threes in overtime.
Yeah, upset Clemson. So Oklahoma gets to advance the basketball because of the timeout. Peyton Verhulst will inbound it. Michigan State still has a foul to give. Chavez takes the inbounds pass and is fouled by Jones. 43.2 seconds left, and that will foul out Rashonda Jones. Jones with another 20-point game here in the NCAA tournament. Really responded tonight after not a great game on Friday. But she finishes with 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Oklahoma now will be in the bonus. Chavez to Beers. Verhulst, clock continues to run. And finally Blair has to come over and foul Verhulst. And Peyton Verhulst will go to the line with 34.7 seconds left.
Trying to play hot potato for a second to not get called, to not get the foul again. Then Peyton Verhulst is like, you know what, we'd rather have a free throw than get a turnover.
Well, they knew not to foul Chavez, who's a 92% free throw shooter, but Verhulst is 80%. And when you factor in just her maturity and leadership, I think they're fine with Verhulst on the line right now. She makes the first.
I would have to agree with you, Sam.
34.7 seconds left. A 7-point Oklahoma lead. And an offensive foul called against the Spartans.
That's going to be the third foul. Van Slooten tried to step up and set a screen. Sahara Williams was on the side of Blair and gets caught on that screen.
Oklahoma deciding not to take a timeout to advance the basketball. They get it into Van. They're anticipating the foul. There it is, 25.8 seconds left. Shot clock no longer a factor in this game. But Oklahoma will be trying to put the game away at the free throw line and give Coach Baranchek another trip to the Sweet 16.
And that foul is going to be on number 5, Shoemate. Trying to figure out, you got to go for the steal first and foremost, or try to get them to have a turnover. Then you go and foul.
Fourth foul on Shoemate. So Zaya Vans at the free throw line tonight. She is 1 for 2 from the line tonight. 76% for the season. Oklahoma 17 of 21 from the line tonight. That has been a key factor to their success. They missed that one, but it causes the clock to start. And a timeout taken by the Spartans. That will be their final timeout, and they will advance the basketball. 22.8 seconds left, and it is Oklahoma up 77-69, an 8-point lead.
Well, I think for Michigan State, once again, you gotta score fast. And yeah, I'm not always a firm believer in having to take a three-point shot, but since this team shoots the three well, haven't been able to connect in the second half as well as they had previously. But you look at getting a good look, then once again, the steal foul, but definitely go for the steal first. And I don't think that you can use a lot of clock. You got to get something fast, and I feel like with Michigan State, sometimes they use too much clock to get into their offensive set.
Michigan State led at the half. Oklahoma battling back. Amy Tarian is in for the first time tonight for the Spartans, number 24 in green. She's a good three-point shooter. Brown into Blair. Clock runs. Got to get the shot off. Van Sluten takes the long two. Thrown back in bounds off of Verhulst. Good heads-up play by Shoemate to keep the possession.
14 seconds left. I think that the Spartans are probably going to go for a three-point look with Terrain in the game.
They lob it out to Brown. Brown will drive on Williams. Misses the layup. Brown and one. Brown is fouled by Reagan Beers with 3.8 seconds left.
And that's going to be Beers' fourth foul.
So Brown goes to the line. Remember, Michigan State is out of timeouts. Van Sluten grabs the rebound, puts up the two, and that'll do it. Boomer Sooner. Oklahoma is dancing back to the Sweet 16.
And what a game it's been. Oklahoma came out down at the half, but came out in the second half, third quarter, and caught fire. Reagan Beers, a phenomenal performance. Zion Van, Leah Chavez, you can go down the line of all the players that stepped up and had some good games, but Oklahoma, 4 players in double digits, of course, led. Reagan Beers had a double-double.
Reagan Beers with 18 points, 14 rebounds tonight. And a heck of a season ends for Michigan State. They finished the year 23-9, their most wins since 2016, and a 5 seed this year as they continue on their upward trajectory. But the Sooners are still in the Big